Hey y'all, long time no see. I wanted to do this update video to let you guys know what has been going on with me. I know it's been a minute, more than a minute, since I uploaded something as far as RN New Grad Chronicles. So that's gonna stop. So what happened was in May, I think the last thing that I told you all was that I was gonna go on a vacation to Texas sometime in June. And I did that. I worked my shift and I had put in vacation for 2 3 weeks, 2 weeks worth of vacation. So 6 days off because you work 3 days a week at the hospital. I took my 6 weeks off. On the day that we left, we were going to do a road trip with my kids, my husband, my dad, and my brother. And we were just gonna drive, stop in Arizona somewhere and get a hotel or whatnot. But on that first day when we took off, my dad ended up having a seizure on the side of the freeway. It was just a mess. And so we stopped at a medical center. We didn't stop at a medical center. We called the ambulance and they took him to a hospital in Goodyear, Arizona. And he ended up staying there for about a week in the ICU while they were doing their tests, MRIs, CT scans, blood work. He was intubated at some point in the ICU and then extubated because he was doing okay. He was sedated, all of that, but they couldn't find an obvious reason for his seizure. We're not sure what it was. All we know is that when we were driving up there, he suddenly had some bouts of feeling nauseated. We thought maybe it was motion sickness. We stopped to get him some Dramamine at a gas station, but that didn't seem to help. And then eventually we pulled over in Arizona. He got out and had a seizure right there. And so what that led to was just a series of events that made me just not want to continue on with the hospital, basically. At the end of May, I did have an interview with a company that would allow me to work from home. They were work from home for nurses even before COVID. So that worked for me. I interviewed with them through Zoom and I was just waiting for a response. But when that happened to my dad in June, I just kept following up with them, calling, emailing, whatever, to see if they made a decision because I was ready to make a change. I didn't know what was going on with my dad. I just knew that I wanted to be around more. I already felt that when I was working for the hospital because it was kind of hard leaving my family for just the whole night or in the middle of the evening to just drive to the hospital. Even if I worked day shift, it would be hard to just leave my family for a good part of the day and come home. And if you don't know me, I have 3 little children. I have a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And it just, I guess, started to get to me that for the past few years, I've just not been as present as I wanted to be with nursing school and all that entails. And then, bam, I'm a working nurse. And then dealing with the patients at the hospital that make you just solidifies for you how much you should value your life and your health and spend time with people that really matter. So that was already a feeling inside. And then when this happened to my dad, it just kind of was the icing on the cake for me to just figure out what it is I wanted to do. So I ended up putting in a 2 weeks notice of leave of absence to continuously be with my dad, to stay with my family as well, to help out with them because with my dad having a seizure, he's not able to drive. So I needed to be there for him, make sure he had what he needs and went where he would like to go, and also, be present for any transportational needs because when you have a seizure, it's recommended you don't drive unless you're cleared by your neurologist. So he has been doing okay lately, on and off. He's nauseous. They did put him on some medication to help with those seizures, and um, I believe it comes with their side effects. He has yet to see a neurologist, but he is scheduled sometime this month being August, to go see that neurologist, and we'll go from there. As for myself, I did end up quitting my job at the hospital. Um, so technically, I was 10 months in, um, because they usually don't count leave of absences as time that you've worked. But I did officially quit July 7th, I believe. I went to a residency class that was scheduled, and I just heard all. Let me back up. So, first, my plan was to work both jobs. I was going to rearrange my already posted schedule that I have picked out. Um, See if anybody wanted to swap shifts with me to make it so that I would work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights um, every single week. And then in between, during the week, I would work at the new company that I work for as an appeals nurse. Um, and when I calculated everything, if I had done both, I would have ended up with like $10,000 a month, and that's net. But as it turns out, after going to that residency class and hearing what had been going on since I had last worked my shift in May, the end of May, a lot of stuff was going on. Nurses were leaving, short staff, people were picking up shifts, mandatory shifts, some were picking up voluntary shifts with the promise of extra pay. Things just seemed to be going to hell, basically. The director ended up getting, not the director, but the manager, who was also a nurse of the med-surg floors, ended up being escorted out. Not sure why. I know that the hospital came under a new director sometime when I was gone, and he was just, I guess, ready to make changes. The charge nurses were also going to start taking patient loads as well as do their administrative things that they need to do. Not sure what was the purpose of that, but just there were a lot of complaints to go around during the residency program, and complaints of not having the resources they needed. Apparently, there was a shortage of flushes and medications in the pharmacy. And as I sat there and I just listened, it was just, I just thought that was it. And the very next day, I emailed my manager and told him that this was officially my notice, effective that day. So I stopped that job. I now work for this new company that's work from home. I'm honestly loving it. In all honesty, it makes about, what is it, $300 less a check than the hospital. I guess we all know that nurses at the hospital make more money. However, for me, this $300 a check doesn't really do much when you look at the fact that I'm there for my dad and I'm there for my kids and, you know, my financial life. It doesn't really hurt me much, if at all. But I'm just grateful for this new job. A lot of people feel like I'm shooting myself in the foot by not completing my full year. I'm okay. I can live with that. I'm at this point in my life where I'm picking happiness over all the anxiety and just all of the things I felt being a floor nurse. Eventually, I felt that being a floor nurse is not where I wanted to be. It's not where my career path was going anyway. And a lot of the nurses I talked to in the first place didn't really want to do their job either. Those that have been there for a while. But that's neither here nor there. For me, this feels like the right choice. So far, I've been at my new job since June 28th, and it's been nothing but great. They have a lot of benefits. For one, renewing my license for me. paying that fee, as well as other perks and benefits. The number one thing being work from home forever. But it is a struggle getting my steps in every day. I have gained weight, but just trying to stay on a regimen of working out every day or running 3 times a week at least, and trying to eat right, but it ain't helping. But I am overjoyed to actually get to see my kids' face every day, plan more trips, work on things that I actually love. On the side, I'm also trying to invest in some properties out of state. So that brings in more passive income, working on my retirement. We did put in a few offers out there on properties in Cleveland, ended up not going through with it after inspections because some of them needed a lot of work. We're currently under contract with a property that we are going to get an inspection on Friday. So we hope that this is the one. But if it isn't, I'm glad to be in the position that we are in to actually be able to do this. So not only am I doing a job that I'd like to do, be here every single holiday and not have to work, but also get to work on things that I've been meaning to get to and absolutely love, which is real estate, and get more information and read more on that. So, yeah, that is my update. A lot of nurses won't agree with this and probably will look down on me because I'm not a real nurse. I'm not in the hospital. But let me remind you that nurses do all kinds of things, and I am currently in the position where I can help patients get more access to care. So, yeah, that's my position. I'm an appeals nurse, and I really do enjoy this. The research aspect, they do have policies and procedures and whatnot, and so the basic gist of the job is we get medical records that come in and appeals that come in because providers or members believe they should have gotten approved for a certain service. I just look at the medical records, see what has been done, and also look at our policies and procedures and anything else that's out there, state regulations, and see if I can get it approved, basically. So, that's about what I do. And it doesn't come with a whole lot of anxiety. It does come with a lot of work. There are times where I will be having to stay as the late nurse in case some expedited appeals come in. But I'm good with that. They're flexible on your time. If you need to take some time off, you can make it up at another time. So it allows me to really get up there with my PTO, because at the hospital it was a struggle. Their policy was, it was just difficult. Like if you missed a day in a pay period, you were not getting that full PTO allotted for that pay period. They would like dock you even though you had PTO. The PTO accrual wouldn't have been as much. Like let's say if it was regularly 4 hours, a pay period, if you missed a day in that pay period, even if you had a PTO bank, you wouldn't get the full 4 hours come that paycheck. So it was just kind of crazy to me. But I do appreciate all the experience that I did gain. All of the nurses that I talked to about their experience, I'm overjoyed about that. But anyway, it was a great experience, and it led me to this moment, this job, and I'm very appreciative about it. I'm rambling, but I just gotta let you guys know that I'm not sure if I started off wanting to be a nurse, but I do know that I have wanted to work from home for a very long time. So I get the best of both worlds. I get to help people and I work from home. But anyway, just wanted to give you guys this quick update. There will be more to come now that I'm working from home, hopefully on time. But anyway, hope you all have been doing well, and just keep plugging away. If you're going the route of the hospital, more power to you. If you don't feel that the hospital is for you, I'm living proof that there's other opportunities out there. All right. I'll talk to you guys later and have a great week. Bye.